It's Typewriter Tuesday. Let's journey into the past to see what writers of old used to use to ply their trade. What kind of mechanical beauty does Al have for us this week?
Hi, this is Alton Gaske. Welcome to Typewriter Tuesday. This is episode number 8. I'm glad you could join us today, and glad you could come to my office and see one of my favorite typewriters. This is one of the younger typewriters in my collection, and it is become a favorite very quickly because it types so well, and it has a few unique features to it that I wanted to share with you. This is an Olympia, as you can see from the little nameplate here, SM9 Deluxe from 1971, so it's the year I graduated from high school. We have also the little logo up front. Now the reason I'm showing you these is there's another typewriter made by Olympia that is also an SM9, but it looks a little bit different, and the reason is it's earlier than this. There are two versions, so you might call this an Olympia SM9 Series 2. If you would like. The previous one, the earlier one, did not have this key here, which is a number 1 key, an exclamation mark. It has its tab settings and releases over here. On the SM1, it had them on the just to the right and the left of the space bar, and so it had a few other things too. Now, as you can see with this typewriter, is that the carriage, the platen, which is the roller here, the carriage, which is the whole device, is longer. It's a wide carriage. And that's because some people needed typewriters to type on accounting ledgers. So they needed something a little bit wider. There might be other reasons that they would do that. It is a beautiful little design. It is futuristic with this white over the black base. And on the side, that black base becomes larger and larger, so the nice two-tone, which became very popular in with typewriters. And then, of course, the white, I think, is lovely. Keys are very dark gray, charcoal gray. The letters on the keys are very easy to read. They're in white. It is gorgeous all the way around, very streamlined. Even the return lever is kind of space age. Two-tone knobs, platen knobs. They keep the theme going all the way through. It has a paper holder which is measured on the other side, so you know when you're getting to the end of your page. As you can see, it's going to be a little hard to see on this video here, but there are numbers that let you know how close you're getting. You can tuck it away for when you're traveling, and it just pushes into like this, and then it has a release over here that will cause this thing to pop up like the business end of a switchblade. On the back of Olympia's is a metal plate, tells you that it's made in West Germany, and it also has the Olympia in its older style italics. Olympia had been around quite a while. A couple other things that this has that some other typewriters don't is this little device here. Tabs on typewriters, early typewriters, are difficult to come by. Weren't all that great, and especially in the much older ones, you had to set them by hand by putting little clips in the back, and that could be tedious. You'd have to pick your typewriter up, turn it around, push clips in. If you had to change them for something, you had to pull them out and move them. Then they got to where they were on board one way or another. Now again, the earlier version of this has tab sets right next to the space bar. So on the left there's a set or a release, and there's same on the other side. So you can set them right from the keyboard, which is really what you want, especially if you're going to really be doing writing on a typewriter. This one has tab sets right here. It's a beautiful little device that you can set your tabs or erase your tabs right from the keyboard. But what this has that other typewriters didn't is a release. You can see this over here. This little white lever. You pull it towards you, it releases all the tabs that you set. So you see it goes all the way through, no more tabs. Then you want to set tabs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the indent of the first line on a paragraph, and you push up, on the tab set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, push up on the tab set, and now we have 2 tabs for the first line and for a deeper indent if we need that. And then if I just move this little lever over here again, lo and behold, it will clear it all. Like most typewriters, you can move the carriage very easily. Margin sets right at the top. Very easy to see, and there's a scale. Again, a little difficult to see in the video, but there is a scale across the top so you can set the margins very easily. 2 rollers, also a scale on the paper bale. One of the other unique things about this is on most typewriters, especially those around this age, you can choose between single space and then double space, and then some did single space, single line, space and a half, and then double. A few typewriters even had a triple space. This one has that, but when you push all the way to the top, it releases the plate, and so the ratcheting isn't there. And so instead of going line by line that's preset, you can spin it around to line up exactly where you want to be. For example, if you've typed on something and then you have to put the paper back in and get it all lined up, that's what you use that for, and it's perfect along with those lines. It is a great typewriter. A lot of people don't realize some of the other things that typewriters have. These little plastic holders are for cardstock. When you put cardstock into a typewriter in the back, it wants to come out the front. This will hold it in place. It also has little scales on it, and then it has 2 little holes in it. And some people want to know what those little holes are. You stick a pencil in there, you roll your platen, and you get a vertical line. You stick a pencil in one of those holes, and you move this left and right, and you get to draw a horizontal line. And this goes way back to a typewriter called an Oliver. I have a 1919, one of those that needs a lot of work. But nonetheless, it actually had a pencil you could push down onto the roller and do that. But here they still left that for those who needed to draw lines. Again, doing accounting, that sort of thing. Well, here it is. You can see the ribbon's very easy to do. One of the other unique things about this that I want to share with you before I sign off is to get inside it. It's like lifting the hood of a car. The whole thing comes up. And deep inside you can see a little lever here. Some typewriters have these on the outside, but this adjusts the impression intensity. That is, how hard is it for you to type? That is, to push down a key. And that's called an impression regulator. And you can move it to very easy or up to much stiffer. The Olympia SM9, 1971. Writers loved these. Some of the writers who used them. Science fiction writer from England, J.M. Ballard. Sam Shepard, who was an actor and a writer. He wrote 44 plays, short stories, a number of books, essays. But he also did some acting, and he was up for an Academy Award for playing Chuck Yeager in The Right Stuff. He used one of these. And then the famous comedic writer, playwright, Neil Simon used one of these. So if you do a search for writers and their typewriters, you will find that many, many used Olympias in general, and a great many used the SM9, including one other, Harlan Ellison, famous science fiction writer, very famous science fiction writer, very adept writer, and still very much around. He had one of these, and he loved the Olympias. Well, here it is again, the 1971 Olympia SM9 portable with wide carriage. And thank you once again for joining me on Typewriter Tuesday.